All right, ready to dive into spring wedding colors?
Let's do it.
We've got this article from Darianna Bridal and Tuxedo, the perfect color palette for a spring wedding. And, it's really got me thinking, it's more than just like picking pretty colors, right?
Oh, absolutely. It sets the whole mood, the tone, the vibe, even like subconsciously affects your guests.
Totally. This article dives deep into that, like matching the colors to your theme, how formal it is, even the dress, speaking of.
Yeah, the dress.
They're very firm on when you should be picking those colors.
Pick that dress first. It's got to be dress first, then colors.
It's like the centerpiece, right? And the shade of white, ivory, all that, it changes everything.
Oh, yeah. Like even if it's got like a blush undertone to the fabric, totally changes your all elements.
They had this example, like if you've got those blush tones in the dress, but then the bridesmaids are in like screaming pink,
Oh, no.
disaster.
Flashing. Big time.
So dress first, then what?
Well, then you pick that main color, your anchor color. Could be classic like a robin's egg blue or something bolder
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you're feeling adventurous.
Okay, and then you build from there, right? But they go beyond just like normal colors, metallics,
Metallics, yes.
warm golds, copper.
Adds a little magic,
Yeah.
and they could really elevate the whole thing, like whether it's on the table settings, in your invitations.
Even the cake.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, before we get to the specific palettes, I'm curious. In your world, are you seeing couples go bored or is classic still king?
It's interesting. I mean, the blush and sage, those timeless ones, those are always going to be popular. But I am seeing a lot more uh, personalization, like people bringing in colors from their heritage, from trips they've taken. I even saw one couple who based it on their favorite book.
Wow. So it's more about telling your story.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, let's get to the palettes. The first one is probably what everyone thinks of first, right? Blush pink and sage green.
Classic. So romantic and serene.
In the article, it gets deeper than just pretty, like the psychology. Blush pink is gentle, innocent,
Right.
and sage green is like tranquil, renewal.
And it totally plays into spring itself, doesn't it? New beginnings, fresh start, all that.
Oh, yeah. And they even described like picturing blush-colored glassware with candles and greenery on the tables.
Oh, so pretty. Imagine that outdoors. There's some tree.
Oh my God, yeah, yes. Dreamy. Okay, palette number 2, dusty blue and lavender.
Ooh, this one's even more serene, ethereal, like a painting almost.
They said it's perfect for boho or rustic weddings, and I totally get that.
Yeah, the dusty blue is like that hazy spring sky. And lavender is so versatile, you can use it as a color, a flower, even in drinks.
They had this cute idea, little lavender bundles in burlap as favors.
Oh, I love that.
And imagine it with a flowy lace dress. Oh, swoon.
It all just flows together. Dreamy.
All right, ready for some sunshine. Palette number 3, coral and peach.
Yes. Celebration. It's like energy. If you want your wedding to be a party,
Yeah.
this is the one.
They say it's about new beginnings too, which is perfect for spring. And they even said like bring in bright pinks and oranges, have peach desserts.
Ooh, a peach dessert bar. That would be fun.
Okay, I'm hungry now. Palette number 4, mint, green, and yellow.
So fresh. This is playful, whimsical, maybe a little vintagey.
Yeah, I could see that.
They talked about the mint green being cool and then the yellow being warm.
Right.
So it balances it out.
Makes it interesting.
Yeah.
And they said to add gold accents, like in the invitations.
Ooh, nice touch.
And of course, mint and citrus cocktails.
Can't go wrong with that. Refreshing.
Okay, last one. This one's for our sophisticated couples. Navy blue and dusty rose.
I love that they included a darker color. Proofs you don't have to do pastels for spring.
Totally.
And navy's so versatile. Dress it up, dress it down. And then the dusty rose softens it. Romance.
Right. It's not too harsh. They even had idea like the bride's shoes as her something blue,
Oh, smart.
and then the mother of the bride in a dusty rose dress.
It's all about the details. And, even though we're looking at these 5, they're just a starting point.
Yeah, it's about getting those creative juices flowing.
Exactly. So you've got the venue, the colors. Now what? How do you actually, make it all come together?
Right. How do we actually use these colors? It can feel overwhelming. Flowers, linens, the invitations, lighting.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot. But that's where planning comes in. And your vendors, they're there to help.
Yeah, speaking of, how early should we be talking colors with them? Like the florist, the DJ, whoever.
As soon as you have an idea, even if it's just a general, we're thinking these colors, share it.
Why so early?
It helps them with availability, with ideas, with budget stuff too. Like if you want a specific flower, the florist can tell you, hey, that's going to be pricey. Or maybe try this instead. It's similar.
Makes sense. What about going overboard? Like too much color?
It's a good question. It's definitely possible. Think of it like decorating a room. You wouldn't paint every wall a different color, right?
Oh, no.
You pick one or two main shades, then you add accents. Same with the wedding.
So what are our main shades for a wedding?
Usually, it's the linens and the flowers. They're the biggest blocks of color. So, like, if your main color is blush pink,
Yeah.
you might do blush linens, then bring in the sage green with the flowers, centerpieces, maybe even napkins.
Okay. And then little touches here and there, right?
Yeah. A bit of blush in the stationery, a sage ribbon on the favors. It all ties together without being too much.
What about bridesmaids' dresses? Do they have to match exactly?
Not at all. In fact, sometimes that's too matchy-matchy. It's better to pick a shade that complements, like a different tone of the same color.
So for blush and sage, maybe the bridesmaids are in a dusty rose.
Exactly. Still fits the palette, but adds some depth. And don't forget about texture, chiffon, satin, lace.
Ooh, yes. Different textures, same color family. That's pretty.
It keeps it interesting.
Okay, so we've got the big stuff. What about the little details like favors, escort cards, all that?
That's where you get to have fun. Think about those little pops of color. And remember, the article mentioned metallics.
Oh, yeah, but how much is too much with those? It feels tricky.
It is. Use them sparingly as accents, like gold calligraphy on the invitations, copper-rimmed glasses, a touch of sparkle but not overwhelming.
And I guess the type of metallic matters too, right?
Definitely, like warm golds and coppers feel more romantic,
Yeah,
vintage,
yeah.
while silvers are more modern. It depends on your vibe.
So rustic blush and sage, maybe copper accents, modern navy and dusty rose, maybe silver.
Exactly. It's all about that balance. But honestly, don't be afraid to experiment. Find what you love.
Right, it's your wedding, not Pinterest's.
Exactly. Speaking of Pinterest, though, it can be a great tool.
Yeah, but it can also be a black hole. You get sucked in.
Oh, I know. Hours gone. But if you use it strategically,
How do we do that?
first, have a dedicated board just for your color palettes. Don't mix it with other wedding stuff.
Okay, stay focused. What else?
When you're pinning stuff, look closely at the details. Not just the overall color, but the shades, the textures, the patterns. Zoom in.
Like on a centerpiece, I'd look at the specific flyers, the vase, the ribbon, everything.
Yes, it all makes a difference. And pay attention to the feeling of the images you're pinning. Romantic, modern. That helps you narrow down your own style.
Oh, that's so smart. I never thought about that. Okay, we've covered a lot, but there's one big thing, lighting.
Ah, yes, so important. It changes everything. Natural light, artificial light.
Colored lights.
It all affects the colors. Like an outdoor wedding during the day, you got the sun. But a ballroom at night, totally different.
Yeah, and even outdoors, the time of day matters, right?
Big time. And indoors, the type of light bulbs they use can make colors look different. That you got uplighting, string lights.
Oh, yeah, all that fun stuff. So it's not just about picking colors, it's about how they work with everything else, the venue, the lighting, the textures.
It's all connected. It creates the whole experience.
This is amazing, but I do want to acknowledge, like, it can feel overwhelming, all this pressure to have the perfect day.
Oh, totally. It's easy to compare yourself to what you see online, get stressed.
So what helps?
First, remember what it's really about. Your love, your commitment. Don't lose sight of that in the details. And don't be afraid to ask for help. Friends, family, vendors. And if you need to, hire a planner.
Yeah, sometimes it's worth it just for the peace of mind. At the end of the day, you and your partner should be happy.
That's what matters. Take a deep breath. Remember what you love. And there's no right way to do this.
So true. Okay, before we move on, we have to talk about the article's little reminder about spring showers.
Oh, yes. Rain. It happens, especially in spring.
Not the most romantic thought, but gotta be prepared.
But instead of dreading it, why not embrace it?
Okay, how do we do that?
Turn it into a fun thing. Have cute umbrellas, maybe matching rain boots for the wedding party.
A photo op.
Exactly. And if you're really worried, have a backup plan. A tent, moving things inside.
Being prepared takes away the stress.
For sure. Then you can enjoy your day, rain or shine.
This is so helpful. We've gone way beyond colors. This is like spring wedding philosophy now.
It is all connected. The colors, the weather, every detail.
It all adds up to the whole experience. Okay, anything else we need to know about bringing these palettes to life before we move on?
I think we hit the big stuff. But just to reiterate, that personalization is key. Trends are fun, but ultimately.
It should be about you.
Exactly. Because years from now, when you look back at the photos,
You want to see your story.
yes.
Beautifully said. Okay, ready for the final part of our deep dive? We're going to look at how these palettes play out in real-life weddings.
I'm excited. So many possibilities.
All right, we've talked colors, we've talked vibe. Now let's see it all come together. How do we actually use these palettes to make, like, a gorgeous wedding?
The fun part, I've got some examples of how those palettes can create totally different looks.
Perfect. Let's start with the blush and sage. I feel like it's classic, but it's also easy to be, like, too predictable.
Oh, yeah. So think textures. Imagine like an 8-door ceremony. Wooden arbor draped with that flowy blush chiffon, but instead of matching bouquets, the bridesmaids have wildflowers. Sage, deeper pinks, all kind of loose and gathered.
Ooh, I like it. Romantic, but not stuffy.
Right. And then at the reception, instead of plain blush linens, maybe a subtle floral pattern with hints of sage in it. And for centerpieces, a mix of heights. Tall vases with blush roses and greenery cascading down. Then some smaller mercury glass with clusters of pink and white blooms.
Ah, I love the mercury glass. So pretty.
It adds that vintage touch. And then little jars of local honey as sagers, with blush and sage labels, of course.
All the details. So cute. Okay, what about dusty blue and lavender? That one feels more like ethereal.
Totally. Flowy fabrics, natural elements, like a ceremony in a meadow. Simple arch with lavender and wildflowers. The bride with a bouquet that's got greenery and pops of those colors.
And then the reception under the stars with twinkly lights.
Yes. Long wooden tables, gauzy blue runners, mismatched vintage china. Centerpieces could be mercury glass again, or those rustic lanterns with candles and sprigs of lavender.
Ooh, and hanging lanterns with fairy lights for that starry sky vibe.
Yes. And a lavender cocktail station with, like, rosemary sprigs for garnish.
Okay, I'm relaxed just thinking about this one. All right, sunshine time, coral and peach. This one's got to be a party, right?
Oh, yeah. Bold, vibrant. Think about a ceremony backdrop made of different fabrics. All shade of coral, peach, pink. Maybe the bride even wears a flower crown instead of a veil.
Fun. And outdoors for the reception.
Absolutely. Long tables, colorful runners, mix and match chairs. The centerpieces could have tropical flowers, fruits, orchids, pineapples, even slices of citrus.
That's so bright and happy. And some colorful paper lanterns overhead.
Yes. And the food could match. A salad with grapefruit, a peach sorbet.
Oh my gosh, I want to go to this wedding. Okay, mint green and yellow. That one feels vintage to me. A little whimsical.
I could see that. Like a garden ceremony, vintage furniture, lots of greenery. The bride's bouquet could be cascading again with yellow sunflowers, white daisies.
And the reception. Maybe in an old greenhouse.
Ooh, I love that. Round tables, mint green linens, gold charger plates. Centerpieces could be vintage teacups and mason jars. Yellow roses, white hydrangeas.
And a dessert table with macarons, cupcakes, lemon ram tie.
Oh, yes. And little bags of lemon drops or mint candies as favors.
So cute. Okay, last one. Navy and dusty rose. This one feels elegant, right? Like a ballroom with candles.
Totally. Imagine a ceremony with navy drapes as a backdrop and a floral arch with dusty roses and greenery. The bride's bouquet could be blush and ivory roses with navy ribbon.
Classic. And at the reception, navy linens, gold candlesticks.
Yes. Tall centerpieces with those dusty roses and white hydrangeas, and lots of candles everywhere for that romantic glow, maybe a starry night effect on the dance floor.
Oh, so dreamy.
These are just ideas, of course. The possibilities are endless. Take inspiration and then make it your own.
Right, use your imagination, and don't be afraid to mix things up.
Exactly. It's about creating a wedding that reflects you. The colors are just one part of that, but they really set the tone.
This has been so inspiring. I feel like we've covered so much, not just about colors, but about the whole feeling of a wedding.
I'm glad. Remember, have fun with it. Let your personality shine through.
And to everyone listening who's planning a spring wedding, good luck. And remember, it's your day. Make it unique.
Absolutely. Until next time, happy planning.
Thanks for joining us.